In Texas, all drinks are this size. They just don't come in anything else. This is a small Texas. I want to be serious with you. Well, it'd be helpful if I could say the stupid words. I want to be serious with you for a minute. Truck addiction is real. Welcome to Dad Bought RC. We're going to try something a little bit different tonight. We're just going to do a segment I like to call Shop Talk, where we just talk about things that are going on around my shop. So right now, I'm kind of in the middle of a lot of projects. If you keep up with the Instagram or Facebook page, if you don't, you should go check them out. But if you do, you've noticed there's just a lot of pictures, different things going on there. I have a few projects in the works currently, and I just want to take the time to go over all of them with you and let you guys know where they're at. I think you might be interested. Before we get too far though, I want to be sure to give a massive shout out to our first ever Patreon patron, James Luckart. Thank you very much, James. Greatly appreciated. You were the first and you will not be forgotten. So the first new thing in the shop I want to talk about are these shirts. Well, actually just this shirt, because I can't show you both right now. But my loving wife went and bought me new shirts for taking videos that are totally related to the channel. This is my RC Dad shirt. I also have one that says, I love my wife. But it says, I love when my wife lets me drive my RC cars. Yeah. Like I said in the beginning, I have a problem and she is enabling me. Please help. Alright, so let's get down to talking about the trucks. The first project I want to share with you is my WPL C24-1, which up until this week was just a bright, white, shiny plastic hard body. This is it right here. Yes, I'm very pleased with how this truck turned out. This was my first ever attempt at doing a scale paint job. So I have done a lot of crafty things in my life. I have done a lot of painting. I used to do a lot of sign making. I've got a pretty good eye for colors and variation, but I have never done model painting. And this painting of a hard body is very similar, I would imagine, to what model painting is. So I tried a bunch of new techniques that I learned from the great people over at the Scale Builders Guild. If you haven't checked them out, go check out their YouTube. I will put a link in the description. A+ channel to go follow and watch all of their content, and a great place to learn if you want to join the forums. But I did pick up a couple techniques from them in their videos, especially this weathering clear coat technique here, which I actually did with white paint and airbrush and hairspray. Very pleased with how it turned out. It was a great technique to pick up. I also stole another technique of theirs and did some airbrush dirt along the side panels, so the rockers are fairly dirty. The front is fairly dirty. I will link to that video specifically in the description as well if you want to go check out where I learned that from. I think it's a very useful skill. On top of those two techniques, I also distressed the bed a little bit as if some cargo had been in here and scratched it up on the way out. I did an interior paint, which is pretty simple. It's just a basic brown, but I distressed it a little bit with a black wash. I also put some dirt and wiper marks on the windshield, and on the rear I painted Toyota. Yes, it says Toyota for a reason. It is not meant to say Toyota. Toyota is what I was going for. Now you may ask how I did that. I did not hand cut that. I actually used my laser to cut a piece of masking tape, and then I laid the masking tape down on top of the tailgate and I painted it. It took all of 30 seconds to do. It's a great technique if you have a laser available to you, which I don't know how many of you do. If you have a vinyl cutter, you can do the exact same thing. But it was my first attempt at really full paint job on a scale hard body truck. I like it. I think it turned out well. Let me know in the comments what you think of this truck, what you would have done different, any techniques that you might have used that I didn't. Now, obviously, I did not rust this truck. In Texas, nothing rusts. We don't get enough moisture, and it's too dry and hot all the time for anything to rust. So I didn't rust this truck. I made it look like a Texas edition Hilux, as if it was roaming the deserts of Texas. And I think I like how it turned out. I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know what you would have done different, or techniques that I didn't use that you might have. I'd really love to see some. All right, so now we'll move on from this WPL Hilux onto the next project, which is kind of a sad little story. Let me pull it down. The next project I have been working diligently on is this Redcat Wendigo kit. So I actually started this Wendigo kit before I started the channel, and I live streamed part of the build on my other gaming channel, so you guys didn't get to see that. But we did hand build this Wendigo. The build went very well. Now there are a couple things about this lovely Wendigo that I've had to work on quite a bit. Obviously it has a custom paint job, so I did use a technique again that I learned from the Scale Builders Guild, where you use a light box and you print out the artwork and you freehand cut it on the inside of the Lexan before you paint it. It worked out really well. This is my first attempt at that as well, and I thought it was really appropriate for this truck to just yell "send it" down the side. This thing is pretty quick. It's got a Holmes 3300 kV motor, there we go, in it, and a Hobbywing 120 BL brushless ESC. So it will definitely get after it. This thing, if you again have checked out the Instagram, has been caught doing some serious donuts. And that was on 2S. On 3S, it's just downright scary. However, I had to have the paint job to match, so I wrote "send it" down the side. We will be doing a full review of this Wendigo kit pretty soon, but we hit a little bit of a snag here. So I took it out the other day to get some running footage for said review. And actually popped an axle. So I'll show you what that looks like. I broke it where the metal yoke connects to the plastic slider portion of the drive shaft. That thing got toasted on the rear, and I could no longer continue to film, so I couldn't get enough running footage to really show you what I wanted to show you for the review. So we're waiting for that to come in from Redcat. They were great, they took care of it. They were actually out of stock of the plastic ones, so they sent me a HD steel drive shaft kit for this thing. Once I get it, I will put those in and we will finish up that review and we will get it posted to YouTube, because I am super anxious for you guys to see this thing in action. It is really, really cool. If you go buy one of these, I'm just gonna warn you right now, there's two things you absolutely must do. You must buy a front sway bar. I actually have one installed in here right now, and I'll show you that in more detail in the review. But it is a matching rear sway bar that I just flopped onto the front. And you must buy significant real beadlock wheels. The stock wheels that come with this kit are glue-on, and immediately with the 3300 kV motor, I blew them right off. That was my big problem before, is I kept throwing the wheels off every time I tried to run review footage. But now I broke the drive shaft, and you know, we are where we are. Let me know in the comments if you would like to actually see me wrench on this thing. We can put the drive shafts in, and I think I have a little bit of a hang up in the front differential that we can look at on a live stream if you want. Let me know in the comments if it sounds good to you. We can just wrench on this truck and talk about it. All right, we're gonna move this truck and go to the biggin. If you haven't guessed, it's the Grape Ape. Yeah, this thing completed phase 1 last week, and we got some really good running footage. If you haven't seen the initial video where I cover what the phase 1 modifications were, I will link it in one of these places. I can never remember if it's the left or the right side, but it'll be there. Click it, go watch it. Also, we did some running footage last weekend. There's a pretty good running video. I will link that one in the description if you want to go check it out. I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. For the Grape Ape, it is time to move on to stage 2 for the upgrade path, and we've got a lot of things planned. So the things I did right before stage 1 completed, obviously I fabricated these metal bumpers in the front and the rear, matching set out of 3/16 brake line. I welded them up and I painted them, and I am pleased to say that when I took it out for the first time, they chipped everywhere, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. I want them to rust and look realistic, so I'm so pleased that they chipped the way I wanted them to. I know it's kind of weird to make something brand new and paint it and then be excited when you get chips in the paint, but that is totally me. I want to see real rust on these steel bars. I think it'll be just terrific, a look on the front and the back. Also, one thing that I did post stage 1 that's kind of part of the stage 2 process is I replaced the foams in these Hyrax tires with Little Novas from Crawler Innovations. So these are the little Nova heavyweights. In the front I have the soft, in the rear I have the firm, and I did vent the Hyrax tires. I also have a whole bunch of things. I got stuff. So stage 2, and this is a little sneak preview. Stage 2 hopefully will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. But I went to Club 5 Racing and I got a whole bunch of exterior scale components for this. We've got like gas caps and door handles. We've got their windshield wipers. We've got this lovely front grille with a real metal international sticker. I'm just in love with the metal stickers. We have this servo relocation mount from Club 5. Totally ready to see how well that works. We also have a bunch of window masks for the paint job this thing is going to get. So keep an eye out for stage 2, which should be coming out in the next 2 weeks. I have more parts coming for this weekend to go into stage 2. I will show you the scratch build interior that I'm working on out of styrene for the interior. That's going to be stage 3, so I've kind of got that partially built in on the back burner. I've got some really good ideas there. Let me know in the comments if you own a Gen 8 V2 and what kind of modifications you have done to it. I'd love to see your builds. Post them up down there for me. And if you haven't, please go check us out on Facebook and Instagram and leave some comments there too. If you have an Instagram with bunches of pictures of your Gen 8, let me see it. I might just follow you. That sounds great. But anyway, that's what's going on in my shop right now. It's going to be a couple of weeks till we get more solid videos out. I think we'll probably do some running footage of these smaller trucks because I can do that pretty easily at the end of a workday. In fact, I think the WPL C24 has one coming very soon if you're interested in what that paint job looks like on a trail run. I think it's going to be great. We're also going to kick off a series with the C24 where we upgrade it from the stock plastic drivetrain to the full metal WPL drivetrain, complete with the sound kit and lights. It is going to be great. So definitely subscribe if you haven't, turn on the notification bell so you know when we upload the videos, and keep up with these projects because they are just coming in waves. So thanks again everybody for watching. I've had such a great time working on these projects. I am so pleased to share them with you, and until next time, we will catch you later.